and we have a go. Hey, how you guys doing today? Thank you for tuning in to the Monday show on Monday. And yeah, this might soon become an irregular thing because going forward, I have every intention of moving the Monday show to either Wednesday or Thursday, or I might just float it around the week. But to avoid confusion, because I want you guys to know where to find me. To avoid confusion, we're going to continue calling the Monday Show because I figure that's got to be the least confusing thing, right? Since you guys already know it's the Monday Show. So if it's on Wednesday, you'll know it's the Monday Show if we call it the Monday Show. So that is the plan. And we beta tested that last week because I was just too sleepy to stream on Monday because we had a great time in Texas. And this is going to be sort of like a part two of the stream that I did with Punk Waddle last week. We have a special guest backstage right now. And I even have some stuff that I didn't show on stream last week. I also have a completed mini model kit from the Punk Waddle that will be shown. But let's fire it up. We're going to get our special guest of honor in right now. As soon as I find the button that does exactly that. And there we go. We got the Disney Sheep Herder. What up, bro?
Hey, how you doing? Hope
I'm
everybody's
chilling.
okay.
Yo, I saw you on, I was like on my way, I was on my commute home and I see Stark is streaming. It's like, oh, tune into Stark. And I see you were like there for quite a while, huh?
Yeah, I streamed for a couple of hours. He sent me an invite, and I was like, well, I just got off work, and uh, kind of caught me off guard. But I said, you know what? I felt froggy. I was like, why not?
Froggy, heck yeah. There we go. I got the YouTube chat. Oh, you know what? I forgot to get. I gotta get the Rumble chat up because I tell you, man, I feel really bad about Rumble. Like somebody tunes into me regularly, and well, not regularly. Actually, I haven't seen them in weeks because I failed to acknowledge their presence. So I guess they stopped tuning in. But now, jokes aside, somebody pops into the chat once in a while, and I don't see their message. So, oh, there we go. Okay, good. I got the Rumble chat up now. I just want to make sure I show some love to people on
Yeah,
Rumble.
yeah, gotta do that.
So I didn't get a lot of time to do like the video preparation, but like I did have a little video prepared. Not really a whole lot of video prepared. But just like this is like literally what I showed Punk Waddle last week, and it's just the Alamo. Unfortunately, it's just not a whole lot right now. I got to go and sit down and edit it. But I figured now my brain has reset. Why is this? Why is there a pilot in the corner? Oh, I know why. I did that. I'm gonna fix that right now. I forgot to turn off the pilot because when I do my recordings, I leave the pilot on if I don't want to be on camera or if I'm just kind of casual.
I
We
got
got a
you.
little, yeah, we got a little cloud cover tonight. So I got the telescope taking calibration pictures instead of normal pictures. It's under its cover, but when I'm doing an astronomy thing, those streams or recordings can run really long. So I just, I don't want to be on camera for like 5 hours straight. Like if I have to like scratch myself or something, I want to be able to do it without forgetting that I'm on camera. And then like, I'll never upload it if I got to edit that crap. Not that that's actually an issue, but you never know. You never know. All right, good. Looks like that works. That works. Does that work? Okay, Stream Deck's a little laggy, but I got good news for anybody who owns a Stream Deck. Not that we're not gonna fixate on tech topics, but for anybody who owns a Stream Deck, if you get crazy lag on a Stream Deck, like when you're pressing a button, try switching USB ports. Try getting a powered USB hub. Try dividing your devices across more than one USB hub because if you have multiple power-hungry devices on your computer or hooked up to your USB ports or on a single USB hub, then yeah, apparently the Stream Deck is so funky. And yeah, that Game Boy is great. And yeah, I'll hook it up, man. I apologize for the delay, Wade, but at least I'm glad it waited, man. Because like, yo, so I'm hooking Wade up with a Game Boy, whatchamacallit? It's a Game Boy Pocket. Well, not Game Boy Pocket. Wow, I'm such a boomer. It is a Game Boy. See, I told you Stream Deck's slow. I'm hitting that button right there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I found this one at my desk. I told Wade, yeah, I'll hook it up, right? So I find this in my desk, but it's in like atrocious conditions. So I'm like, well, okay, well, it's still better than nothing. And then I found this gray one for Wade right here by accident. I didn't even know I had this in my possession, but he's going to get it hooked up right there. But yeah, talking about things that I got at the convention. So this was a cool collectible right here. This is a Klingon bird of, well, not Klingon. Wow, did I just go Klingon? This is a Romulan warbird from Star Trek, The Next Generation. And it's one of the better things that I bought at the convention, I gotta say. Because like, at the time, I thought it was a very minor purchase, but all in all, I mean, it is a good darned toy. I mean, I have the Enterprise, so it goes like, I could have a little battle now. I gotta give it to the design here because they even have like this little Romulan Star Empire logo, and you can just see it's like a little city in space. I mean, with those tiny little windows on there. But the coolest thing, this actually has a really good feature here. I'm going to show you in a second as soon as I refocus my camera. It has a really handy dandy feature right here. I got to pop this in the full screen again. It cloaks.
Oh, nice.
Right? It's pretty cool. I mean, that's a good gimmick right there. But yeah, beyond that, Punkwater was kind enough to hook it up, so I want to give some recognition because I didn't get a chance to show this last week. Hey, what up, Pop Coach Mechanic? Good to see you, bud. So he hooked me up with this very nice UC Timeline Gundam. And basically, Gundam is sort of like Star Trek. It's actually the Star Trek of Japan. And it's got like essentially a very consistent chronology, just like how Star Trek has like, multiple shows. Oh, I still got to fix that little pilot guy in the corner there.
That's cute. I like it.
Yeah, so this one's like cool because like also it's still a little in the cute shape, but it is more proportional than the other types. They have a couple of Gundams that are called Super Deformed, and it's sort of like, I think it's like a way of Bandai getting kids in at an early age so that they can like, get them to buy the toys and the merchandise. But like, here's an example of like a small Gundam or a small mech of the same universe, slightly larger scale, but it's got, more accurate proportions. But all in all, I don't like the Super Deformed Gundams. This one I'm actually okay with because it's got, the right shield design and all of that crap. And then the other one that Punkwater hooked me up with, I'm going to show on stream at a future date and time. In fact, I think tomorrow night we'll be doing Nip and Nag with snacks. And when we do Nip and Nag, I'll assemble the other Gundam. So if anybody wants to, see what an RX-93 new Gundam looks like when being assembled, we got that one in the box right here. I only opened it. I did not unwrap the plastics. And then finally, the last item that Punkwater was kind enough to share also has a cloaking. Oh, wow, it doesn't go invisible on camera. It's kind of green too. But yeah, this is a mobile suit from late in the Gundam timeline, in the original Gundam timeline, called a Dragon type. And essentially, it's sort of like a mass-produced model, as opposed to the Gundam, which is sort of like the hero model, the one that's like where they put a shit ton of R&D and they only build like 2 of them or 5 of them. This one is something that was mass-produced for like 30 years in the timeline. So I've been dying to get this one because it actually goes with a particular kit that I have. And even though it's from a different series, the box is, I think it'll be a very, very nice match. But with that being said, do you remember that gift box I bought? Not the Mario gift box, but the Super Mario gift box was awesome. Do you remember the other gift box I bought at the convention?
Yeah, where it was supposed to be something else, but they gave you a different box.
I was wrong. So it turns out the picture that I picked on the box has nothing to do with what's in the box, and it was on the other side of the box. So they have the question mark on the front of the box, and they have all of the other characters on the other side of the box. So good news is I did not get screwed, and I'm so glad I didn't go back and make an ass of myself. But see, that's the front. And then that's cool, it's invisible again. But yeah, and then that's the question mark side. So I'm pleased to say that wasn't an issue. Now, at some point, I want to shout the gentleman out who gave me this particular blaster here. And at some point, I also want to install batteries in it. Do I have batteries? I do not have AA batteries. Are these AA's? All right. We're going to get to test out a ray gun today here. So what happened was the gentleman on Facebook, his name is Big John's Collectibles, was kind enough to hook it up. And I was like, on the fence about accepting it. But he's like, look, promote me on Facebook. Promote me. I'm like, oh, I'll retweet you, man. I'll tweet you. I'll promote you on Facebook. This thing takes 6 batteries. How does it take 6 batteries? What the hell? Okay, yeah, we're not testing this tonight. Unless I have a battery in my drawer.
David Glenn says there's no Nip Nag tomorrow. Gator's covering the election.
Is Gator oh, what a treat. You know what?
Yeah, I think that's going to be madness.
Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, you know what? I'll take the trade-off. Maybe he'll let me on anyway. Pacific 414 is also doing a big election stream tomorrow. And I'm just going to close my drawer real quick. that could be very noisy, so I had to mute. Anyway, yeah, so my friend Mike of Pacific 414, and for anyone who's a moderator in the chat, don't forget Mike Pacific 414 has a chat trigger where you type the word exclamation point Pacific and it'll show his link. But yeah, anyway, so he'll be doing his thing, and I said, hey, can I jump on? And he goes, oh, it's gonna be crowded, but I'll be happy to have you on. He's like, oh, I'll even go backstage. Mike says he'll go backstage if like need be, but I'm like, don't worry about it, man. I'm like, look, you're probably gonna need someone doing mod duty in the chat anyway. I says to him, just in case things get dramatic election wise. But also, I'd rather be sidelined than him. And then ultimately, some people are gonna drop out due to attrition. Like some people are gonna be like, I don't want to stay up late. So I'm not too bothered. I'm not bothered at all. As a matter of fact, I'm like, I appreciate him being upfront with me. I'm like, yeah, no worries, Mike. It's cool. But I'm probably be once I get off tomorrow, it's Friday. It's my Friday. And I was wondering, okay, thank you. I missed Pop Culture Mechanics stream last week, because what happened was I thought it was Monday when it was Tuesday, or I forgot. I thought last Tuesday was Wednesday, so I basically almost missed multiple shows, but I eventually resynced. But anyway, that's the answer. Are you doing a makeup show Wednesday, Pop, or are you gonna just wait till next week? Either way, y'all should tune into Pop Culture Mechanic when he does stream. He does some pretty good gaming stuff right there. Is Punk Waddle? Oh yeah, I see Punk Waddle. Look at that. Hey, what up, Punk Waddle? Everything is bigger in Texas, except for me. So I'll let Snacks take the political. Yeah. Well, I'm sure you might have something to contribute, and I think that in the style of Punk Waddle's regular uploads, Mike, what's his name? His regular uploads are like, very neutral. He's not getting into freaking, drama or any bullshit like that. You know what I mean? And like what I mean by that is, yeah, he's just not doing any drama shit. I think that Punk Waddle can speak his mind. He could talk about people, in the political process. But I don't know. I mean, Gate is gonna be fun. I don't know. But what do you have thoughts here? You have any thoughts about like expectations, hopes, wishes?
Oh, me? I hope it works out for everyone. That's all I can say. I'm not really that political or religious, and I try to avoid those things. But
yeah,
from what I've researched myself, and just by how everything's going and what people say, I kind of steer from that, and I just dig up my own stuff.
As I think about it, I don't want to put anyone on the spot. So yeah, I'm glad that you also know how to give a neutral answer. But it's true. Like
No,
I'm not
but
trying
I'll tell you who I'm voting for, because I've already voted. I voted for Trump. So
I mean, yeah, at this point, it's on Twitter. I put myself on blast already, so people can find out who I voted for, and it ain't Kamala. And I'm not looking to proselytize. Like I got people who watch. I got a couple of good friends. Like I'm in New York. So you could just imagine. And that's okay. I get it. It's a blue state. In particular, it's a blue city, and I'm probably in the only red borough of that city. But like at the end of the day, I like to believe, at least for the most part, that most people, they mean well. They want to uplift the human condition, not to sound like some hippy dippy shit, but you know what I mean. Like they want to improve things. They want things to be better. So whether or not I think that they're misguided, or whether I think they're not even so much misguided as misinformed, or if they think I'm misinformed, I just hope that everyone can kind of, meet each other halfway in understanding that, everyone means well. I don't like the way the media behaves. Like that's just very divisive, and that doesn't matter what side of the aisle people are on. I think people get, are too hungry for the rage bait. I think people just need, right? They just need to kind of chill out. I wish people would just chill out.
I wasn't on the fence, but I tell you, if I was one of the people that was, I mean, whoever the media backs, you just go with the other person, because the media is pretty awful. I mean, they're not fair.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's like that's like a signal to me too. It's like if the media is like gung ho about something or promoting something, it's like, I'm not saying it's always a safe benchmark, but oftentimes it's not unreasonable to just opt for the opposite, because it doesn't always seem like the interest of the average person is at heart. And I personally think it's evident when people, their emotions are kind of pulled, their heartstrings are pulled and pushed, But that being besides the point, it was interesting being in Texas. I think, what is what is that city like? We were in San Antonio. I know Austin tends to have a more left lean. Is San Antonio anything like Austin?
I'd put it mostly right leaning because of the military aspect. I mean,
Ah,
it's
yeah,
a
that's true.
military town. Um,
That's true. I literally went to the neurotic meetup, and it was on Military Road, and it kind of, I guess, gives a hint. But that's cool. And then, I just want to, acknowledge. I want to acknowledge this is very important, guys. I want to acknowledge that Pop Culture Mechanic likes toast. He likes Texas toast. I'm sorry, I got to be clear here. Toast
Because
is kind
it's
of boring.
big. Texas toast is
It,
big and
it,
thick.
so it's like Canadian bacon, kind of.
Yep, they got the bacon in Canada, thick. Yeah.
Yo, I bet you Canadian bacon and Texas toast are like a good combo. Mm.
Ooh, give me some lettuce and some tomatoes with some salt and pepper and
Mm-hmm.
mayonnaise. Oh, that'll work.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one, Mr. Sheepherder. I like that. Mm. Yeah, it's like a BLT basically, a heavy BLT. But yeah. So beyond that, now in this box, though, I already like once again, guys, for chat. It's like the guy was kind enough to give me this replica, this 1970s or 80s blast pistol that he repainted supposedly, but I think he repainted it. But anyway, that's Big John's Collectibles. He's a kind gentleman, and the reason I mention him isn't just because I'm trying to promote the guy, because I want to make sure I make up for the fact that he gave me a free toy. But he sold our boy Shellback a Han Solo style pistol, and I'm very curious to see if Shellback if he like modifies it, puts a scope on it like Han had.
That's a cool gun.
Yeah,
Let
that
me
was a cool gun, man. Like I think it's in some of the pictures. I'm sure it'll turn up in some of the footage or pictures I have. Now we went over this on Sunday, so if you tune into the stream Sunday, last Thursday. So last Thursday, I got the thumbnail wrong. I had to correct it. Oh, speaking of the thumbnail, I got a treat for you. If you like science a little bit or space stuff, I got a real treat. But yeah, this one here, very satisfactory. Great blanket. If you guys want to see in the chat the video from last week, the stream from last week, I open up this box and I display what's in it. And
I was there when you bought that.
yep, exactly. You were there for that one, and you were there for the other one. And I'm glad I didn't buy the Sailor Moon box. Like I said, that's the American Sailor Moon, and I know it's gonna be some lame shit. Well, maybe I don't know if it's gonna be lame, but I had a bad feeling about it. So I'm glad I went this route, because in the end, I mean, I got Gus from Breaking Bad. Can't go wrong. This guy's a fan favorite right over here. War Machine coming at you. That thing is fire right over there. I almost want to open it and play with it, but what I like about it is the box is already open, so I can kind of putz around with it anyway. It's like not a big deal. Put it on display. Put it on display over here. And what is this? A stress transformer? Oh yeah, and I gotta find out Pacific 414 wants any of my Transformers loot, because there's a lot of it in here. And the only thing we didn't really look at all, nobody looked at, was the comics. We're not going to necessarily do a comic book review. These look like, okay, these are magnets. I don't know if Overwatch is any good, but I'll give it a try, and if I like it, I'll put these magnets on my computer. Oh, did you get that? You got that poster, right? You received the poster in the mail?
I hadn't got it yet, but it's okay.
Really? Okay, I got to check the tracking information, see if it disappeared.
Or maybe I need to check my mail. I ain't checked it in a few days.
Yo, the day I last messaged you the tracking number, UPS, FedEx was like, "Oh yeah, it's already there." So that's why I'm asking. But it might be in the mail. But I'll double check the tracking data later on, and I'll message you later tomorrow, let you know what's good. So a lot of random.
Yeah, I'll check my mail tomorrow or two to make it easier.
Cool. This is interesting. So a lot of comics I never heard of. We got XO Man of War. Okay, so like the Portuguese Man of War. These are actually in really good condition, so I better be super careful with them, only because, I don't know if they're good comics. I don't think they're worth anything extra, but if they're in good condition, I'd hate to be the guy who ruins them. The hell is this? Oh, cool. Okay, I like Ghostbusters. I'm going to set this aside for now, and, it looks like a little...
You picked up some cool stuff, but you know me, I kind of backed off once I got my meet up with old William Shatner, and I got him to sign my Nerf herder picture that I've had since I was a kid.
I mean, that makes it worth it right there. I mean, like, I think that's like 90% of the fun, especially if you had that pick since you were a kid.
Yeah,
Apparently, I
and I
got,
got a new pic with him. He took a picture with me, which was nice.
yeah, man.
Ooh, Ghostbusters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got the Ghostbuster card. I got the whatchamacallit. I wonder how the chat's doing. Oh yeah, my boy Slim said I should check the chat on my phone because he thinks there's a delay. Which there might be. I have to explore that.
There's
What up,
a
Slim?
seconds. I go between your live and then the stream itself. I'm gonna put a peace sign up and see how long it takes to hit it.
Yeah, chat. Let us know when you see the peace sign. I don't doubt that there'll be a slight delay on the YouTube. Let me see here. I gotta load this up too. I'm gonna open up my own video real quick. We're gonna do a little test. So yeah, I got a War Machine comic to match with my War Machine action figure. That's kind of cool. All right, good. I'm live now, and if I do 1,
Woo!
2, 3,
That's a
4, 5. Oh
big,
shoot, that's
big
significant.
delay.
Yeah, okay, Slim. Thanks for bringing that to my attention, buddy.
Seconds, maybe.
Yeah, it's about that long, you know. It's pretty significant. It's like it looks like 15 seconds if I'm reading this correctly here. Okay, that's interesting because you know, usually if I'm doing it through OBS, I expect a delay because the OBS is doing all of the heavy lifting on my computer. So you have like, you know, it's sort of like they say you're the captain of your destiny. When you're streaming from OBS, you control, you know, like basically how it handles it, and you can pretty much optimize it. And I'm pretty good at optimizing local streams. So if I'm doing a solo stream, I'm good in that regard. But I thought multi-person streams were exempt from that issue. So, yeah, that's news to me. I really quickly just have to empty this box out long enough to make room for the comic books. Is that a Grogu? Nah, that's the Incredible Hulk. I thought it was Grogu.
You collected a whole bunch of stuff down there.
Yeah, honestly, I'm very happy with the variety of pins. I haven't gone through all of the enamel pins yet, but like I said, there's a lot of Transformer gear here. I got Comics Division right over here too. Apparently, I must have gotten that at the Nerdrotic meetup. I don't know what lot to get. Oh, that's freaking. That's pretty off the hook right there. It looks like Megatron. That is Megatron. Wow, that's a beautiful specimen. I got some trading cards in here. I got some. Oh man, I wish I opened up the Halloween trading cards. Trick or trade. These. Oh yeah. Snacks gave these out last Halloween, as a matter of fact. These are the Pokemon. Like I think it's like a 1-pack or one individual card. It's just enough to get the kids hooked.
Tips and Ray Gun says Overwatch is awful.
I can actually see Tits and Ray Guns' chat message over here because I'm looking at it on Restream. But if I go on YouTube, I have to click live chat. There we go. Now I can see Tits and Ray Guns.
Actually, I just moved over to your Restream, your live one, because there's such a big delay. I'm looking at different things while we're talking, and it's just confusing the hell out of me.
I wonder if that's interesting. So I wonder which if the chat is more delayed on the Restream end to match up with the delay. Well, either way, as long as people can hear and see, and y'all know that there's a slight delay, I appreciate everyone's patience today. Now that I'm aware of the issue, I will put my top men on the case, and by top men I mean I will work on it.
Top men.
Top men. Yep. I got My Hero Academia card. Never seen it, but I know Pop Culture Mechanics seen it. Oh yeah, I showed this to Punk last week. It's like a melted Boba Fett. Look at that. Look at that thing. Like someone just like some kid must have just been in the mood to put it up to a halogen lamp in the 90s and was like, eh. I know I've done that. So when I was a kid, I was like kind of like a little reckless, and what I did was I had a What the hell is this, Pee Wee Herman? There we go. I got a Pee Wee Herman bow tie right over there.
Oh, real.
I don't know if it's a bow.
Message on X, he said.
Let's take a look here. You said I got a message on X, you said?
Yeah, from Real Walden Gaming.
Oh, word.
Yeah. Tits and Reagan says if you want to impress, break out the old Battlestar Galactica toys.
Oh, dude, yeah. I wish I had me a Galactica actual. Oof. I gotta say, like, I didn't know what Galactica was when I was a kid. But
Pop
like,
culture mechanic said that's Boba Fett after the Sarlacc pit.
yeah. So speaking of that, this is what I did when I was a kid. Um, yes, Wade, I totally would. I'll send a reply after the show or something, but I totally would. I mean, depending on the state, time, and location, we'll talk about it. I love how I'm replying to a text message verbally. I don't know if I'm allowed to disclose the message, Wade. That's why I'm being mysterious and replying to it verbally right now. But yeah, anyway, like, where's my brain? Yeah, so, okay, I had a Klingon bird of prey, like a micro machine. And I had a halogen lamp when I was a kid. So in the movie Star Trek 4, in order to go back in time, they have to do a slingshot maneuver around the sun and in order to go, pick up humpback whales. And well, basically, I was trying to emulate that. And I melted my bird of prey a little bit, and then I remelted it twice to fix it. But the thing I wanted to show you that is a little bit off topic or just random, but I think this is gonna be interesting because like when I created this thumbnail on last Wednesday, I did it like with the mindset like like, okay, you sort of thumbnail. It's sort of got some sheep in there, and it's got like this in the background. I used something in Photoshop called blending, and I'm gonna zoom in on that. I'm gonna pop into that a little bit more tighter. And what this is, let's clear the message. And thank you
Looks
for
like
tuning in.
Hubble Deep Field.
Yeah, exactly. So this is like Hubble Deep Field, but there's one distinguishing characteristic that you might notice right off the bat that makes it not Hubble, and that is the 1, 2, 3, like 6 hexagonal star, the hexagonal star. So can you guess what telescope took this picture if it was not Hubble?
Don't say the new one.
Yeah, this is the James Webb.
James Webb, yeah.
Yeah, so with this one here, this is the cool thing. So with the James Webb telescope, because it's got that weird setup where you got the hexagonal mirrors, when you get a really bright star, they come out like this. They call these spiky things. Wait, am I on the right screen? Okay, yeah. They call these things diffraction spikes. So depending on on telescopes where they have like a little mirror in the front, depending on what kind of frame, like sometimes they'll have like a little like jig holding the mirror in the front and have like a couple like almost like spokes going around it. The amount of spokes or the type of spokes, the position of the spokes will dictate the type of spikes you get from the stars. So that's why when you look at a picture from the Hubble Space Telescope, it'll look like they got those cross-shaped stars. The stars will have that four-sided spike pattern because that's how the Hubble was designed. And exactly, David Glenn nailed it. Yeah. Not only did he make the movie reference here, nuclear vessels in Alameda, he also rightfully pointed out the Einstein rings. And that's what blew my mind about this picture was like, supposedly this is the first deep field image. Because, I mean, they took a number of calibration pictures to get the telescope ready before you could take pictures. And like you can see these, like basically we're seeing a few things here. We're seeing stars that are either closer, and there is a version of this picture where they annotate, where they tell you like what you're looking at. Like it's got like little circles and things. But whether these stars are really distant or what, they're definitely closer to us than the galaxies in the background. Now, the thing is that one of the tricks that astronomers managed to figure out was when there's a strong gravitational field, whether it be a black hole or a star, but oftentimes great distances it'll be a black hole, you get these things called Einstein rings, and it'll be where like objects like these galaxies get distorted into this like weird ring-like shape. And this is a thing that they figured out. Sometimes they can even stitch the picture together. They can actually take the Einstein ring and like distort it or re-distort it some more and bring it back into shape. So essentially there's a trick to see galaxies that are very distant by exploiting this gravitational lensing. In fact, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing like unprocessed or unadjusted, I guess, like we're just seeing straight up gravitational lensing. And yeah, I don't. Mm-hmm.
I'm familiar with that picture too. It was NASA was plugging that from the James Webb telescope. Now here's what's cool about it. Mm-hmm. It's from the same field as the original deep field from the Hubble, but they grabbed like a tiny fraction of it and they hit it and zoomed it. So it's basically you're getting like 1,000 times more deep field than the original Hubble.
Dude, that's far out. Because even the original deep field was wild because what they essentially did was they took the telescope, they pointed it at a blank patch of sky, or a blank patch of space.
You just brought it up.
Yep. I mean, when you mention it, I had to see it. So you got the Hubble Ultra Deep Field. So yes, you got the same square. What you say
on Ronnie's channel, he gonna Google you.
Yep, you bet. And like what I'm noticing is like we're seeing a lot of similar objects here. We're not seeing as much of the gravitational lensing, I don't think, but we're seeing more red shifting. And I think from what I understand, the James Webb is more tuned to the infrared wavelengths. And part of the reason they went that route is because you can see through dust clouds. So if you have a
Yeah, I was going
massive
to
dust.
say they want to see the birth of stars.
Yep, and that's the thing. Like there's like supposedly a crisis in cosmology, but I think it's a bit oversold. Like I think it's understandable when you're dealing with mathematics like this. You're gonna get some things wrong, and you're gonna need to be prepared to adjust them as you go along. Um, but some people they want to either subscribe to a different version of how all of this stuff works, or they want to completely and utterly like throw it out with the bathwater. So you'll hear a lot of people hype up the idea that there's an issue. In particular, the issue that I heard talking about was like that they were spotting, that the images were seeing galaxies that were, basically more mature than they expected them to be at that distance.
Yeah,
Being that, the further away something is, the
and
older it is.
yeah, and the James Webb's also tiered up for the spectrum, so they
Yep.
can see other planets and get a gauge on. Hey, there's liquid oxygen. I mean, there's liquid water there, or there's a certain amount of oxygen or whatever. It helps them read it a whole lot better.
Exactly. That's true too. The spectroscopy or whatever they call it, almost like the
Yep.
Pink Floyd album. In fact,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
same
I
concept.
don't know their terminology, but I know what they're talking about.
Well, the cover of the Pink Floyd album where they got that
Yeah, I know
rainbow.
exactly. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, you know the deal. Yeah, I think they call it spectroscopy, but don't quote me on that. It might be called something else. But I like to pretend to sound smart, so I'm gonna pretend that that's the correct term. But jokes aside, here's another one. Now, one thing that jumps out at me about the Hubble imagery, and the reason I pulled it up just now. Let me see if I can open it. Oh yeah, Reddit is being whacked. They don't want me opening it the way I want. I have to save it and then open it, but I'm not going to do that now. So anyway, one thing that jumps out at me about the Hubble imagery is it's considerably more grainy, and that's totally understandable with the type of camera they're using. And the Webb imagery is significantly less grainy, but once again, yeah, we're seeing a lot more gravitational lensing in the, or at least we're seeing it more easily. I mean, there's gravitational lensing happening here, but when I first saw this image, like it was the first feature aside from the stars that like popped out at me. So yeah, that's where I got this image. That's the story behind this image. And then beyond that, David Glenn pointed out during the stream that what did I do? I put
Slim Jim,
Wednesday.
right?
Hmm?
Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh yeah. Yep. So
Pink Floyd.
like
Yeah.
yeah. So basically, that's the bottom line. Yeah. So and David Glenn says DJ is correct. But yeah. So I mean, basically, you know how it works. For the chat, basically, there's a way to like shine light from a planet. Basically, if the sunlight goes through the atmosphere of a planet and you take a prism and you have it inside a telescope, you get those rainbow colors, and different colors will kind of tell you whether there's water, whether there's different elements, and it's pretty accurate. Like, I mean, you can do it, you can replicate it on Earth, and essentially they can calibrate for it. But I'm not really well informed on it. One of these days, I might try it because there is a way to do it on my telescope. Essentially, you could do it like with even a Nikon camera, like a SLR, where you buy like it looks like a slide. They call it a diffraction grate, and it's basically a miniature Pink Floyd prism inside of a little sheet of film, and you shove it behind the lens, and then when you point it at a star, it'll the colors will line up, or the colors will show up, and then you can actually like line it up with like a ruler, and then the ruler will tell you like if this is oxygen or hydrogen or something like that. So, it's pretty cool. Stellar cartography? Something that I am ill-equipped mathematically to do, but I sometimes name my live streams, my astronomy streams, stellar cartography. At least I used to when I started the hobby. I had a thumbnail of 7 of 9. And one of the things I did on the thumbnail was I put down the Monday show on Wednesday, but then I did it on Thursday, and then David Glenn's like, dude, it's Thursday. I'm like, oh, shoot. So like I said, I was off by one day all week. So that's the story behind that thumbnail, but I'm looking forward to more developments from James Webb. I'm happy to see what we're seeing so far. And that's just pretty wild there. So let me see here. Good. I went through I think I went through all of the collectibles. That's good. I covered my bases there. Was there anything? So you saw Shatner and, you got to have him sign your picture of the triples. In fact, I think we need to show the chat the picture of the triples at least. I know what it looks like. I'll get it real quick. Triples, Shatner. TOS. Oh yeah, it's a classic one, right? There we go. It was very similar to the Vanity Fair picture that I'm clicking on here. So, if I remember correct, oops, wrong one. If I remember
That's it.
correctly, yep. So this was the picture that you were carrying
The
for
big one.
years,
Yeah.
and you finally got it autographed. So that was pretty cool. And I noticed some tweet action there. Said Shatner actually remembered who you were. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah, he did. Cause I told him, I said, yeah, I said, yeah, I'm the one you call Nerf herder, and he could- he he couldn't believe it. He's like, really? I said, yeah, because I've been lucky enough for him to retweet me 8 or 10 times, and that was pretty cool. So he kind of goes after me, and he calls me Nerf herder because he knows I'm a Star Wars fan. So
hmm And he's got to he got to defend his franchise. There, he's got to defend what is his, man. I got to respect it.
yeah, yeah,
And it is noteworthy that Slim pointed out, yes, it is. You do have to apply redshift, and that's the thing. I didn't want to go down. I didn't want to measure redshift, but he's right. So when you're doing the spectroscopy, when you're looking at the colors of the light coming from stars or from exoplanets, around other stars, there's like an issue where if the planet or star is moving away from you or towards you, it's gonna like the colors are gonna change a little bit. So like if it's moving, I think towards you, it turns a little bit blue, and if it's moving away from you, it
it's
turns a little
red.
bit red. So if you can calculate or if you can figure out how fast that object is moving away from you or vice versa, then you can figure out like how different the colors are, and then based on that information, you could adjust accordingly to get more accurate info. And so the issue is that when I'm debating flat earthers or something like that, once in a blue moon, someone will pop out and say, "Oh, they don't do the spectroscopy correctly," and some shit. And I mean, they don't know how it works. Just a talking point they heard from some other flat earther, and it's
Well,
like,
sir, yeah.
mhm,
I was just
yeah.
gonna say, Sir Isaac Newton made it popular. So those flat earthers, were they going to argue was the king of physics?
I mean,
I
like,
don't,
they could argue if they came prepared, but you can't show up at a gunfight with a knife and then like be surprised when you're not getting anywhere. And I feel like that's what I encounter a lot. Like it's same thing. Like I posted about the moon landing the other day, and I didn't really get a lot of responses on it, but maybe my post was a little long-winded. But I was just genuinely curious. I wanted to hear like some talking points. Like I wasn't looking to like berate anyone or judge anyone in this case, at least not today. But I just wanted to see if like anyone had any persuasive talking points, as to why they believe that American men did not land on the moon. And sometimes, you get like, talking points that like, I think sometimes even us or people who like, don't doubt the moon landing, they might, go and give a talking point like, oh, well, you can shoot a laser at the moon and reflect it off of the moon because during the Apollo missions, they dropped reflectors on the moon where if you shoot a laser at that reflector, it actually it bounces straight back at you. So no matter what angle you're hitting the retro reflector, it's like sort of like the reflector on a stop sign or a bicycle,
yeah.
it'll always bounce back straight to wherever the light is coming from. So you can use that easily from the ground to like measure the distance, measure the speed that the moon is moving if it's moving away from you. But that being said, I mean, look, I know the Apollo mission dropped it on the moon. I've seen the film reel of them doing it, but like if I doubted the moon landing, I wouldn't be persuaded by that because if I didn't believe in the moon landing, I might say, "Oh, well, how do I know they didn't drop it there using a robotic rocket, robotic probe?" Which I mean, doesn't mean I don't know. I'm like I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit. Um, but yeah, it's basically what
So,
went on there.
I mean, I've had people do that for a science project. I even did an episode of Big Bang Theory. You
Yep.
shoot it, if you shoot it towards the moon, it'll come right back to you. The time you shoot and the time it comes back, 2.4 seconds.
Mm-hmm. That's another thing is like if the speed of light being a relatively finite thing in a vacuum, it's like okay, so people will argue like moon can't be that far. Usually, sometimes people will argue from a position of incredulity, like it's not really a good basis to have a debate. It's just kind of like that's ridiculous, and then they kind of harumph out of the room, or they just harumph that it can't be. But it is enough. It's true that you can at least prove mathematically that 2.4 seconds is real. And now if you have a reason why other than the distance, you got to cough it up. And unfortunately, I don't think anyone who doubts it is equipped. What up, Amber? We got Amber in the chat right over there. Hope you're doing well.
I don't. Oh, must be Rumble.
Yeah. Oh, Amber is on. I know it's in the Rumble. I'm not Rumble chat. It's in. I better check Rumble.
Oh,
We
it's
got
in the
Amber.
regular chat.
Yeah, we got Amber. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm used of the name. When the deep calls deep.
Oh, okay. Now
Yeah.
who's that? Amber?
Yeah. That's our friend Amber right there. Friend of our friend Floral from Under a Rock. And right now,
Oh,
I believe Amber is presently studying very hard. So we haven't seen a lot of Amber lately, but Amber still tunes in, and I'm grateful for that.
yeah, that's nice.
And Amber's a big fan of my robot.
Good. Good.
Yeah, the robot over there. The guy.
They
Oh
were,
yeah,
they were
it might
asking
be.
about your robot on Stark's channel earlier.
Oh yeah, so I got some work cut out for me. So a while back, last in May, I started a project where I made a carbon fiber like chest piece, almost like Thanos, and it
Oh,
came out okay. But I need to paint it at this stage. I was trying to be a perfectionist, but at this point, I need to paint it. Now, one of the cool things I did was, I'm not cool things. One of the cool ideas I came up with just the other day that I think can work is, I'm having some structural integrity issues with the head. Now, whenever I put on the robot head, I can like straighten it out and put it on. It's like nobody knows there's a structural integrity issue, but I think I'm gonna reinforce the robot head with some carbon fiber because when I built that like Thanos chest piece, I learned a shit ton about how to do carbon fiber, like how it works and what good practices there are, best practices, worst practices. So like I have enough of an understanding now that I know how to take the fabric and utilize resin compounds to like make structural elements. And basically I just want to reinforce the corners, and once I do that, it'll actually be like a little bit easier to wear. I might even be able to lighten up the helmet a little bit, so that's kind of cool if I get remove some weight and make it stronger. But the beauty of it is that the idea I have in mind is almost like a drop-in upgrade. Like it doesn't require any complete rebuild, because originally I wanted to build a new head, but I was like, no, it's gonna take forever. It's gonna be a whole boondoggle. I know it's gonna take forever. So yeah, I'm glad I had a brainstorm the other day. And we got the robot. The only thing, I almost took the robot to Texas, San Antonio, and I was like, wait, I'd have to find a way to do voice, the voice changer routine. So I was like, screw it. Plus, also it looked kind of creepy walking around the river walk with a robot head. You could just imagine how that would work out for us. But beyond that, if there's anything else, let me, that you saw at the convention, anything that you saw in Texas that was exciting. I think we had a great time. I think we had a good time. At the condo, we had a good time. Walking the convention, we had a good time walking the river. And yeah, they have this thing called the river walk. You don't walk on the river, guys. You walk next to the river, just in case. I was a little worried they were gonna make me walk in the. You could walk in the river though, but we talked about that on Wednesday. Me and Punk Waddle Thursday. See, I'm still mixing up last week's days. I'm just here for a second to drop a like. Well, thank you, Amber. I appreciate that.
hey, I just sent you. I guess it ain't going through. I guess I'll send it to you. I guess on the X if you want.
Did you send it you sent it in the private chat on the Restream?
Oh, I can send pictures on private chat in the Restream.
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, I was actually.
Wait, yeah. How do we get a picture in there? I think. Can you add it? Yeah, if you want to send it to X, I'll get it that way.
Or I can just send it to you on your phone.
Yeah, either way, whatever works for you. I can receive it either which way, whatever's convenient. There we go. There we go. I got my telephone right over here, and I can forward it to myself. Thanks, Amber. Catch you later. Alrighty. Let's see. The moon is hollow, and oh, that's a good one. Yes, David Glenn indicates the moon is hollow and is piloted by Smurfs. I just heard a noise in my head. Okay, never mind. That was a different message. Oh, this is cool. Oh no. Oh no. Oh man, David Glenn. That's wild. All right, I got a headline for you real quick while I wait for your message to come true.
No, I'm
the
not.
headline.
Go ahead.
Okay, the headline. Well, yeah, either way, whenever you send it, I didn't, I got my phone up. But anyway, Tucker Carlson goes full crazy with rant on demons and nuclear bombs. And as David summarized it, I hope you talk about this on your show tonight. Tucker Carlson stating that he believes demons, developed nuclear fission technology. Damn, is he really going that deep, or is he just like trying to capture a different audience? I mean, I have a theory. I have a theory about. I don't really have a personal theory, but I heard a theory about Tucker Carlson being an intelligence guy, but I don't know if that's true. Like I heard, like then again, I hear all kinds of crazy shit on the internet. I shouldn't parrot everything I hear on the internet, should I? I'll, at least trust but verify, as they say. But let's just go with the brass tacks here. In pre-election interview with Steve Bannon, oh god, Tucker Carlson decided to broach the very pertinent topic of how nuclear technology has demonic origins. Great, that's gonna scare us away. Okay, that's a long article, but yeah, apparently, guys, this is an article. I'm gonna drop it in the chat. nuclear demons? Question mark.
There you go.
Ah, there we go. Yep.
I'm gonna make it easy for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that filled up there. Oh yeah, that's the Shatner pic right over there. In fact, that's on Twitter X, isn't it? Like I can literally find that on Twitter X.
Oh really? Yeah, that's right. I think. And then
Yeah.
here's where he signed my my.
There's the one right there.
I mean, if you can see the signature.
100%.
Oh, okay.
Wait, see, no, I'm gonna switch you out. Hang on. There we go. Here, do that one more time. It looked pretty good for a second there. Yeah, I think once you hold it, there it is. I see it. Yeah, it's on the left side. For anybody who's seeing it blurry. Yep. Beautiful.
Oh, I see it now. Yeah. So I was just happy he did that. And I'm not gonna dox those folks we were with. We had some good pictures, but I'm not gonna go there.
Yep. I don't even remember which guys we were with, but I'm sure it'll come back. Oh yeah, them guys. Yeah, we had great pictures.
I did get a good picture of me and you. I can show that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember I posted the picture of whatchamacallit. Of me. I walked into this guy dressed as a Spanish conquistador. I was like, these two guys were dressed as conquistadors from there we go. Nerf Herder is a friend of I love to hate change my mind.
That's funny.
Let's see, I'm gonna find.
Hey, did you show everybody this picture of you and the punk waddle and Gator and all the crazy?
Oh people? Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah. I was having trouble. I found. Oh, I didn't see this one.
To you. I'm gonna send you all the pictures because
yeah,
I told you I would. I hadn't sent you any of them, but
that's a great picture. Yeah. And that's a different angle too. It looks like coaches. Oh, I see. Wait,
different angles. Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah.
I'll send it to you. Yeah.
And I remember. I think I went to my. I was able to find some of it when I went into my notifications. That's how I did it. I did notifications. Yeah. And I did mentions.
Yeah, I got to send Shellback his pictures. Snacks and Friends, Gator, I guess Loki, and Pump Waddle. I took a bunch of pictures of all of them, so I gotta send them their pictures. I can't. I'm not. I told them I promised I wasn't posting nothing.
Yep. Yeah, you gotta send them in, and people can choose what they want to share, what they want to, clean up in Photoshop.
It's entirely up to them. Exactly. So.
There we go. I found a nice one here. I'm gonna bring that one on my right side monitor while we're here.
And David Glenn said the moon is hollow and is piloted by Smurfs. Well, here's the cool part about the moon is, there's been a theory floating around for about 40 years. Theia smashes the Earth, and then the remnants correlated, became the moon. And, it's a great theory, and most people follow it. But with the other evidence they got now, this is close to fact. Maybe not a planet hitting us. They hadn't really proved that, but how else are you going to make the moon? Because everything they found in the moon rocks is what we have here on Earth. So
that's the thing. So from what I did a little investigating there, right? And I came up with like a working theory for the moon, basically. So let me just find. Okay, there's the Earth, and I just happen to have Space Engine open right now.
Well, how they can drill in the rocks. Okay.
Yep. Get the core sample.
Yeah, and they did the same thing to the moon. It was identical to ours. Even does those. It's basically a timestamp.
Well, you know how some people get incredulous about how the moon is tidally locked and shit like that? So I have a theory for why the moon is tidally locked, and that's sort of what I'm demonstrating over here. Um, if we look at that, it's a little. Oh, I gotta click on it again. Yeah, so we're seeing the Earth, and this Earth is spinning multiple days. Like we're literally doing one day every 1.5 seconds on the Earth, and the moon takes like multiple days, weeks to make one circuit around the Earth. So just for reference, so that people in the chat can comprehend, you can see how the moon, like literally, we're traversing multiple days. The counter on the bottom left corner shows 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st of December, etc. And so literally it takes about like 3 weeks, 4 weeks for this circulation to happen. But the question is, what makes the moon? Oops. Okay.
While you look for it, I'll answer. David Glenn's like, yeah, same isotope ratios. You are correct, Mr. Thesaurus.
Ah, that's the right term. Okay, I got you now.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't got all the terms, but I'm a red man. I read up and try to keep up with that best I can. I just don't have the words for it. But it's nice to know that David Glenn can translate to the real scientists and geeks out there. Thank you very much, sir.
Yep, I do appreciate that too. So there it is. Okay, so we got the moon. But anyway, so yeah, one side of the moon is always facing the Earth. That's why we never see, that's why we don't really see the back side of the moon. We'll see a little bit of one side and the other, but we don't see like the entire, thing. So usually the moon will do this little wobbling thing, sort of like this. But
it's another
the reason,
pink floor, dark side of the moon.
Oh yeah, literally the dark side of the moon, the far side, and that's a common misconception, of course, right? It's the far side of the moon, but I call it the dark side of the moon out of habit too. Just kind of like interesting. That's another thing that comes up sometimes when debating people. It's almost like you gotta establish definitions, or what's what. But what was in my so like you said, one of the theories based on some of the evidence is that something collided with the Earth, whether it be a planet the size of Mars or something else. Something collided that was big, and of course, an impact of that magnitude is going to cause molten, shit to turn into molten rock. It's going to cause the core of the Earth to come out too, but just the impact itself is going to cause rock to melt and become lava-like. So ultimately, you have this thing almost like a lava lamp. It's like spinning around. The two pieces are doing this, and then one piece kind of gets captured by the Earth's gravity because the Earth is a little larger, and now you have a ball of lava orbiting the moon, orbiting the Earth. So my theory is that maybe the moon could have ended up rotating like another object would have, but the reason that it synchronizes rotation with its orbit is because when it was still in the liquid state, it was almost like an ocean, except it was an ocean of lava. It was an ocean of molten rock.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so you get the idea. It's like it's pulling it like almost like an egg. It's pulling one side this way, and so ultimately, as it was cooling down, it probably became tidally locked, in my opinion, or in my hypothesis. It probably became tidally locked while it was still molten rock, and then as it was cooling down, that's how we, came to get the moon that we know and love today, followed by asteroid impacts, which would give us the craters.
Well, that all those the heavy bombardment that went on, but before that, when Thea or whatever you want to say hit us, I truly believe that's what created us, because it pretty much doubled the size of our core and gave us this huge magnetic field that surrounds our planet.
That makes sense, yeah, because that's critical right there. Like for us to evolve the way we did, I mean, I hear it. It's almost like we got
you, David Glenn.
Yeah, David. Oh yeah, look at this. How delayed my chat is. Does DJ Ronnie know that he's still displaying Captain Kirk? At the time, I did not, but I eventually figured it out. Same isotope ratios. All right, so looks like we're still a little behind on the chat there. Understandable. But yeah, so like, I mean, the thing is, like, I remember I was reading a sci-fi book, and it was almost the opposite. The planet had a strong magnetic field that was so strong that it didn't allow room for mutations. So the life on that planet ended up being stagnant. Now, of course, to be clear, fiction is fiction. I want to attribute like reality to fiction. But in the case of the Earth, that was probably a contributing factor. So you would have had like fishes or something evolving the eye, and maybe periodically a mutation would have been triggered by cosmic rays, perhaps. And then if it was an advantageous mutation, that would have, allowed natural selection to, allow that group of animals to, succeed. If it was a bad mutation, then that group of animals or whatever would have, ended up being at a disadvantage.
David
Not to
Glenn,
mention.
he mentioned continental drift. That's the term they used to use when me and David was in elementary school.
Yeah, I remember continental. Not to mention the added volcanic activity and continental drift.
I
I
couldn't believe
see.
it took forever for them to figure it out. They didn't want to buy into it. Any
Which they
fool in school could look at a globe and go, hell, it looks like that's a puzzle. We could fit the pieces together on this planet. You figured
Well,
they would have
okay,
figured
that's
that out.
interesting. I forget. You're a little. No offense. You're a little older than me, so you went to school before me. So by the time I was in school, this was like a foregone conclusion. But you're telling me that when you were my age in school, or whatever, this was not a foregone conclusion.
Nope.
Wow, that's
But,
interesting.
but, but we all believed it, but they weren't teaching it. They were saying, well, it's just and I was like, what? I mean, all you had to do is look at a globe and go, it makes sense. But
It's true. I mean, just
I
like the
know
fact
Dave.
that, like, yeah, everything fits.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. I mean, like, everything fits, and if I get
Back
like,
in the
I mean, it's
70s, they didn't buy it. They were talked
like
about it, sure, but it wasn't common knowledge.
I can respect a little skepticism on from the mainstream science community on things like this. At least they want to get it right. I can appreciate that. I wish they would do that more often with certain things, but there comes a point where it's like, yeah, I mean, this is pretty straightforward, and I get it. Not everything that's intuitive is the case, but it's like you got a preponderance of evidence. You got multiple continents doing this thing, and I get it. Like they had to like get confirmation of how plate tectonics worked. Just the other day, I saw this cool graphic where it demonstrated like multiple seismic stations across California on like a big map, and they were sort of laid out almost like in rows or columns in rows, and each of the dots would turn red when the seismic waves passed over it. So what you saw like this epicenter of the earthquake, and you saw like the seismic stations activating in a wave. And then after like an X amount of minutes, you saw the evidence of the seismic wave bouncing back from wherever it came from, the core of the earth or some shit. And it would actually like make a reverse wave. And I don't know, it's kind of fascinating stuff right there. That's why like when I don't know if I have the rocks here, but that's why when that lady was selling rocks at the convention, I bought them. I was like, I think geology is cool. I think the idea of having like crystals underground, under heat and pressure, like the movie The Core, as the guy goes, like rocks form, these crystals form due to heat, time, and pressure, something like that. But I find it abundantly fascinating. If I ever get to go on a crazy trip, I'd want to go to that Mexican cave with the giant, like that. They got this Mexican cave. It's like 100 degrees in there. It's like
Oh,
120
hotter
degrees in
than
there.
that, yeah.
Yeah, it's like crazy hot in there. And
100%
like,
and 100% humidity. You got to wear a suit. You need
uh huh,
positive air pressure flow.
that I could imagine. Yeah, so I don't know
And
much
more than
about it, but that
six or
sounds
eight
about
minutes there to kill you.
really 8 minutes. You said?
Yeah,
Oh,
6 8
that
minutes. If
damn.
you're
Yeah,
talking
that
about
sounds
the
about
one
right.
I'm
So
thinking of,
no, I think it is the one. But is that big? It
like the
had these
biggest one they
ginormous
found
crystals.
on the planet, the biggest one, they're just
Mm-hmm.
huge. You could fit the Empire State Building in there. Yeah.
Gotta see if we got a picture of this one real quick. Think that the chat might be interested in seeing something along. Yeah, this is like one example. I don't think this is even the mother lode right here, because I mean that guy's not wearing anything special. But
Uh,
it's still cool. Even this is kind of cool. But it gets pretty. That's the thing. It gets pretty ridiculous as you get underground. I don't know if there's secret bunkers underground or not, but I can see where there's room for those sort of things. I can also see that where it might not be as easy to build secret bunkers underground because when you start digging real deep, you get into these problems where the pressure messes up the drill and all of that stuff. Sort of like the Russians and their Kola super borehole.
oh,
But
thank you, David. Then he goes. He said I was right. He read it's about 8 minutes.
thank you. Yeah, it's just beautiful stuff though. So yeah, one of these days, Alice. Okay, this one here, these guys almost look like they're a little bit more better equipped. I mean, they're wearing some kind of red suit. I don't know if it's an actual suit or not, but maybe they're just miners. But I bet it looks like they're
No,
wearing
no,
breathing.
no, no. You see that on his back? That's a
Yeah.
positive pressure air pack.
Oh, that's it.
The
Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. And you know what? I did see a guy like that. Guy looks like he's wearing some kind of mask. Now, is it an 8 minute limit without the suit, or is it 8 minute limit with the
nah,
suit?
nah, without.
Okay, good. That makes a little more sense now. I got you.
Because you're also below sea level too, so that
Mm-hmm.
really wears on you.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Mhm.
I just thought like atmospheric pressure would somehow magically exist in there, but I mean, I guess why would it? You know, you're still under all of that rock, all of that stuff. I mean, it's a gradient. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, going back to plate tectonics or whatnot. I was in Ethiopia for a while. They got a place called the Damakil Depression,
Mm-hmm.
and you can actually see Africa being ripped apart, which is happening as we speak. In a few million years, there's going to be a huge section of Africa that's no longer going to be attached to that continent.
Interesting. I didn't even. I mean, I know like California has that issue too. Well, it's not really an issue per se. It might be a favor, but jokes aside, I do know California has like that San Andreas fault line. I don't know if that's like at great risk, but
Nah, nah, that's totally different. But if
hmm,
you, there it is.
Danakil, that's what it is, huh? It's like almost.
Yeah,
It's like it looks like a bit like Yellowstone.
it kind of is in a way. Uh,
It's got the soul. It looks like I know Yellowstone. It's like it's a caldera. It's sort of like an upside down volcano, and so
I
you're
mean,
gonna have
they
like
got volcanoes there and stuff. Yeah,
wow. So it is an area of thin
and there's
crust.
huge mountains there, um, and they got herds of monkeys. I mean, I'm sorry, baboons. I'm trying to remember the
Baboons are
name of
funny.
it, but they're a different breed of baboons that live on top of these mountains. It's like packs 700-800 strong. Uh,
That's a lot of baboons, and they're pretty interesting. I used to see them at the safari at the local Six Flags. I mean they were just funny because they had red asses, but all in all, baboons actually seem pretty reasonable as far as as
Not
far as
these. These are the mean ones because they live on these cliffs. Because they got to run from the Ethiopian dogs.
all right, they do look a little tough. Yeah, that looks like I do not want to f around with
Oh
this
yeah, that's right. Gelada baboons.
gelada. Wow, holy shit! Like I'm sure they're very majestic, but they definitely are the type don't f around. Now that's
No.
I mean, that said, look, I'd rather be in the room with a gelada baboon or gorilla than a chimpanzee any week. Chimpanzees, after the stories of like, maybe it's because of those two incidents that I know about, but like, one of them was this dumb guy. He was traveling and he decides he's going to put his hand under the double layered fence. Okay, so there's like two fences in South Africa. And it's like, I think he's an American student, but it's a double fence set up so that you can't possibly get harmed by the chimpanzees. So what this guy does is he climbs the fence, and then now he's inside the second layer of fencing. So now he puts his hand underneath the
Yeah, there we
final
go.
fence.
There's them
And
herds I was talking about.
yep, yep. We got Lady Miss right over here, and we got the herd right over here, and we got the sheep herder over here
Hey,
too.
Lady Mist, how are you?
Oh, they're trying to sell me a book here. Oh wait, is that a picture slideshow? There we go. Let's see if that picture gets larger. Cheapskates that try to make it low res. But yeah, that's a strong. And you said it could be easily
Well,
800 strong.
yeah, and they're the kind of monkeys they live off grass and they pick the bugs off each other and they live actually on the mountain cliffs because they're hunted at night. So they all live on the cliffs and it's steep and nasty. So it's kind of difficult for them to get
Here
ate.
we are.
So
This is even though it's one of those annoying stock photos. This is an interesting angle because we're seeing. It sort of underscores what you're talking about, where they're living on a mountain. You can totally tell they're on some kind of slope right over there. Oh, that's beautiful. But yeah, so this kid, he climbs the fence, puts his hands under the fence, and the chimps rip his hands off. Which, I mean, granted, that's his fault. Then there's the lady, the poor lady, whose friend came to help her rile up the chimp that she was taking care of. And this time, even though Chimp was normally friendly, he was a bit, like a bit, revved up. I mean, like it's understandable. I mean, I don't. The lady doesn't blame the lady who got injured, and by injured I mean her face and hands got ripped off. But the lady who got injured, she does not blame the chimp. She had a very good attitude. I saw in an interview. She was like really like a stand up like attitude overall. But it's like after seeing that, it's like I never want to be alone in a room with a chimp. Even though like I know NASA put them in rockets and they were pretty cool back in the day. Um, like like we had the what was it, the Gemini program or the Mercury capsules. They put they had a Quantum Leap episode about it. What up, Tommy? Tommy and the guinea pig collective is in the house, and Mrs. Dadman Walker. I hope you're doing well tonight. Good to see you. So we were
Yeah.
just spanning the world a little bit, and Disney Sheepherder was teaching me about the gelada baboons in the what was that region called again? The
Dan McKill depression.
That's it. Yep, the Danakil Depression, and so apparently it's home to a mountainous species of baboon who basically hang up on the cliffs because they don't want to get hunted by wild dogs and things that are probably very tough predators.
Yeah,
And
and volcanoes and
hmm oh yeah, let's get the
pits of
volcano.
lava and sulfur. It's
Hmm
very hazardous. But just up from there, they got this huge rip. I mean,
That's what I want to see. Yeah,
where the country's getting torn apart. Just type in Damakil Depression, the Rift, the African Rift is
the
what they
rift.
call it.
Here we are. I think we're getting a little warmer here.
Oh, a Christmas offer. All right.
Wow, what the heck is that? It's like some kind of molten rock right over there. And then okay, we got a little map. We got the Red Sea up here, so I guess it's somewhat.
It's showing you where it's ripping.
Now,
Like I
wait,
said,
right?
a huge part of that continent's going to rip off in a couple of million years. It's actually happening as we speak. Like I said, they get those sinkholes everywhere.
Yep.
It's
I
actually
know exactly what you're talking about.
causing problems for the wildlife. You know, they're used to trekking across certain areas, and it's starting to become like going through a valley.
Ah, I got you. Yeah, even this, I think this is starting to show evidence of the rift right over here. If I'm interpreting that correctly, I might not be because
Well, that's the depression. Where the volcanic activities at, but where the rift's at's several miles from there, but it's
y-
close. So,
gotta be a nice picture of the tear in the ground.
oh, they're everywhere. So I'm sure I
Or
got
one
some
of these.
pictures. They got people that put like ropes on one end to the other just to watch it snap, and just I'm talking about in months. Like if you put a rope and you put some tension on it, within a couple of months it'll pop it.
Oh, dude, that is sick. Oh, look at that. Here I
They got
am.
the same thing in Iceland. I'm going to go to there when I go in January. They got
Yeah,
the rift there in Iceland, where I think it's the North American plate and some other plate is pulling away from each other.
and I do know Iceland is very somewhat seismic, despite being the land of ice. In fact, the term I heard was the land of ice
Extremely
and fire.
volcanic. Yeah. And they got tons of heated springs.
Yep, that I heard too.
Oh, there you
It's a
go.
beautiful place.
That's Iceland. They run
Yeah.
ropes, they run strings across that too, and it'll snap.
So they basically like almost like mountain climbing cord. They'll like hammer a spike into the ground or something like that.
Oh, the cool part, you see that river there?
Yep.
Uh, that's just been made over the last couple of decades. It's just been pulling apart, and people go down there and swim, and you can actually see the rumbling down there where underneath is pulling. And you can see, like it doesn't stay still because the sand's shaking at the bottom.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff.
There we go. I seen how high resolution the picture was. There we go. I got a nice high res picture right over there.
Yeah,
As
Lady
soon as
Mist is right. Baboons, even the lions stay away from them bad boys when they're in a group.
oh, you ain't kidding. Especially yeah. I mean, there's
But
strength
the
in
truth
numbers.
is, yeah, but the truth is, the baboons, what they really worry about is them Ethiopian dogs, Ethiopian wolves, I guess, or tigers, not tigers, dogs or wolves.
Yeah, they got like a
They
whole bunch
attack
of
them
them.
constantly. They that's all they eat.
I mean, they're similar to
But
like hyenas, but they're sort of just a wild dog species that's very aggressive.
very aggressive towards the baboons.
And like this guy, like this guy looks
See,
skinny, but
that's the dog. I'm talking about the Ethiopian wolf.
oh,
They're
they
a
got a
different
wolf
breed.
too.
Yeah,
Oh no, I gotta see that. Oh shit.
that's
Okay,
them right there.
they look pretty, and they're probably smart too, because I know wolves. I mean, that's the whole where the term wolf pack comes from, using their great intelligence and their their ability to operate as a group. They're pretty formidable. Yeah, those baboons have to band together. That's a hell of a jaw right over there. A lot
Yeah,
of
but I'm
pointy
telling
teeth.
you, like a group of 3 or 4 of them bad boys, they'll try to find the weak link, even in
hmm
groups. And them baboons, 600, 800 of them, they don't care.
Wow. Yeah, they don't give it. Yeah, you got to eat. Everyone's got
And
to eat.
they're really fast. So yeah.
hmm Oh, that's so cute. There's puppies. I'm sure we could. I'm sure the puppies are fine though, right? I'm sure we could play with the puppies, take them home. I'm sure they won't tear up the carpet.
Don't
Sure they
play
don't
with
mind.
anything in Africa or Australia. Just stay away.
Yeah, just visit. Just look. Don't touch. Maybe get on a dune buggy or something. Don't even do the hike. Let's see here. Oh, we got Godzillionaire in the chat somewhere. Hey, what up, Godzillionaire? Hope you're doing well. But yeah, it's pretty cool stuff right there. So, I'm glad we covered the moon a little bit. We talked about the Hubble Deep Field image earlier in the video. For those in the chat who tuned in a little earlier, we took a look at a deep field image from the James Webb Space Telescope. And oops, that would be right over here. And so the main thing for those who didn't see it earlier, look at that. You ever see the show Home Improvement? Tim,
Yeah,
Tim,
yeah.
yeah. I look like Wilson right now, the guy behind the fence, like, hey there, neighbor. He's like, it's the character who's,
His face.
yeah, you never see his face exactly. So, yeah, basically we were talking about gravitational lensing. So this picture has evidence of gravitational lensing due to either black holes or supermassive stars. So we talked about that earlier, and that's the source image for the thumbnail for today's stream. And while people are tuned in tonight, I do want to quickly make note that I will most likely soon be moving the Monday show to Wednesday, but to avoid confusion, I will continue to call it the Monday show, all right? So I don't want you guys getting confused there.
Monday on Wednesday. I like it.
And that's what I did. I already did it. I got a comment from Pops. Pops like, oh man, I love how you call it the Monday show on Wednesday. And then even irony was, even that was wrong. It was really on Thursday. And then like when I made today's thumbnail, I didn't realize that I already had a Photoshop document. I told my computer rebooted without me saving the picture. So I go to get the file. I try to get the file, and what I ended up doing was, if I could just find it, just give you guys an example here. I ended up like taking the picture from the old thumbnail, editing it, and then after I edited the thumbnail, I realized I had the original Photoshop document. So if you have the original Photoshop document, you can you can just open the file and modify the text. But this one here, you might notice that it says Monday show on Monday, and then behind it is like a little black stripe that says Thursday. So, I was like, at that point, I'm just going to leave it little, comedic trolling there, have a little fun with it, But yeah, it's basically the gist of it there. Anything else you want to cover here? I don't mean to be running dry. I just can't think of anything this very second. I'm sure something will pop into my mind any minute now.
Give me a category.
All right. We're gonna take turtles for 500. No, I'm joking around. Oh shit! Speaking of my turtles, while we're thinking here,
Oh, it's awesome.
I updated the turtle cam recently, so I can actually show the turtle cam. I'm gonna pull that up real quick. Wow, and that's actually a good angle. Look at that. We got the turtle, and I can see my whole face, and we got you in the corner right over there.
Yeah,
But jokes aside, let me see if I can find. So I fixed the turtle camera up, or at least I figured out, like what was going wrong with it. And so let me just enter my login there. Oh come on, wrong password already. All right, I'm gonna try to get HYT. Okay, that's better. All right, now The issue is I moved the camera up the other night because I wanted to get a better angle because I was planning on having you on the show either like last Thursday or today. So, I pointed the camera up. That was a success. Now, while I was at work or while I was on the bus, I logged into my camera and it was daytime. So when the night vision is off, I can see both sides of the tank. Like I can see both turtles swimming and doing whatever they do. I pointed the camera up because I wanted to get a video of the basking dock because that's where they climb out of the water to dry off. And they need that, they need to get a tan. They need to get vitamin D. They need to get warm so they can digest their food. And David Glenn needs to go to bed. I'm sorry to say that I gotta head to bed. No, okay. We all gotta head to bed at some point. What do you mean time change? Didn't you get an extra hour of sleep, Dave? No, jokes aside, thank you for Sunday was awesome for me. It's like I went to bed like late, and I had like I had an extra hour. Somewhere at 3 a.m. it turned into an additional 3 a.m. So I was a happy camper. When I woke up, I was a little bit more rested. With that being said, everyone say good night, or at least everyone who wants to say good night to David Glenn. And David Glenn, good night, and thank you for tuning
David.
in.
Thank you for the education.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the accuracy. Unlike me, who couldn't remember half the terms. But jokes aside, it was good that he had all the right terms. So, yeah, this turtle here is Squirtle, and her stepsister's on the left. Now, I could turn on a light. I did this the other day. I was taking a walk with Cheryl back, right? Like, we were walking back to the hotel or to the, B&B, and I hit this button right over here, and it turns out a freaking white light, and the turtle starts stirring. I'm like, oh, my God, I don't want to wake these girls up. So, we're in night vision right now. But basically the long-term plan with this camera is I'm probably going to need to get a second one because I want to get like complete coverage of like both sides of the tank, and then we'll be good to go. Then I might make it into a 24/7 thing. Maybe I'll give them their own channel. Maybe I'll link it. Maybe I'll use it as a source of watch hours on my channel. I don't know. I'll figure something out. But I did just hit 2,000 watch hours, 1,000 watch hours in the past year, but
Nice.
2,000 since YouTube's been tracking. So I still got a way to go. But at some point I'll accumulate more, and I think if I move my show to a different day, maybe I can manage my uploads a little better, and then maybe like I'll do an upload on Monday since I'm not streaming on Monday. I'll figure something out, but it looks like I'm hitting a little bit of momentum. I'm happy. I'm grateful that people tune in. I'm grateful that you guys in the chat have tuned in tonight. And I hope I get around to uploading that astronomy content. Like I did it already. I recorded it. I just need to edit it a little bit. And I was thinking about not editing, just kind of like roll with it. But I don't know. I kind of want to clean it up a little bit anyway, out of a sense of pride, I guess.
Yeah, we need to get you 500 subs too.
Yeah, so I figure if I put the legwork in a little bit, we get the content out there, right? I do some uploads, but that's the only thing I'm deficient in right now. I mean, like I've been consistent doing this on Mondays since last October, so it's been basically a year, and I think I've only technically missed one show. And I'm not even sure if I missed that show. Oh yeah, the one time I missed the show, I did a premiere. That's what I did. I made a video and then I played the video as a premiere. So I kind of skirted it. So technically I only missed one show, and it was last Monday. And I think I have an okay excuse for that anyway. But it worked out, So at this point now I got to get I'm good on streaming. I need to get on the wagon with uploading stuff there. So we'll get to that soon. I mean, I got some footage. Like I said, I did the Texas footage, or find anything that looks interesting, particularly from the convention, I guess, and maybe make a couple of videos there, just kind of sharing, what we saw at the convention, or generally I don't film a booth closely unless I like what I see. So if I see like phasers or starships, I'll take a good look at it. So we'll get some starship prawn for the people who like starships, and of the items.
I did notice that you were videoing when we were walking around.
Yeah, I mean,
video thing with you.
This thing makes it easy because this camera here, it's almost like a passive operation, right? So if I power it up, and let me see if I get this thing powered. This camera's got a slightly malfunctioning gimbal, so I always have to help it start up. Okay, there we go. And let me see, I'm going to put it into tilt locked mode. There we go. So what I love about this camera is when you're holding it like this, it literally keeps the front lens element stationary. So it's like, I don't know, I could play with this all day like a 5-year-old. It's just like, it fascinates me to no end. Or you hold it like this and you could, oops, wait, where is it? Yeah, see, I can rotate the body to camera. Usually, you can rotate the body to camera like this. Apparently, right now it's not cooperating because I'm doing something wrong with it. But you get the idea. Okay, yeah, well, it's going into selfie portrait mode right now, unfortunately. But you get the idea. And yeah, pretty sweet camera in that regard. I mean, it does the job. Wait, did I do it wrong? There we go. Now it should work.
Man.
I don't know. I'm just playing with it too much. There we go. Now it works. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I just find that revolutionary. But anyway, I digress. So we got, like, this thing actually got a lot of footage. I didn't run out of space because last time I went to do a video about the Super Mario movie, and the memory card I had in here just wasn't having it. So this time I used the right memory card. I don't get to use this camera very often, but I gotta say, I just like the fact that it's really compact and that it's self-leveling, because I think that one of the challenges when you're filming on a phone, it's like, one, you're burning through your phone's battery. Two, any shaking you have is going to translate into that. And, you get the idea. Oh, that was gas. There we go. But anyway, guys, so I'm just surprised Squirtle's sleeping. He's like, when I tried to tune into my turtle at San Antonio, a couple of times they looked like they knew I was watching, and I know that's probably not the case. But it seemed like they knew I was watching. Like, they would start stirring, they'd move away from the camera. I'd be like, "Oh, come on, I want to watch them." Like, I can't go downstairs and check on them. I gotta watch them over here. So that's what we did. I'm only a half here. I'm listening and responding when I can, but I'm at work having to close up. How dare you work for a living, Slim? Can you believe that? The audacity of Slim working for a living. He should quit his job right now and watch my show and watch every episode I ever had and get my watch hours up. And yeah, but jokes aside, Slim, I appreciate you tuning in. You don't ever have to, never, ever, ever. Nobody ever has to apologize for not chatting or for, being at work. If you tuned in at work, you already did more than what I would expect of myself. Although, granted, I do tune into a lot of people at work.
Man, you're going to hate me, man. I must have yawned about 15 times in the last.
Yo, I got to be gone 15 times. Good, let's wrap it up here. I'm running out of steam anyway. Like, you see, I'm talking in circles here. But, I mean, I like hanging out with you anyway, man. So, talking in circles with you.
I want to do a good stream. But we hadn't even been on an hour, I don't think. Have we? How long we been on?
I think we've been on about, we've been on an hour and 22 minutes. So, we agreed to
it. I don't feel bad now.
Yeah. We agreed to an hour. And I'm hoping that out of that hour and 22 minutes chat, let's get ourselves back into, medium or full screen, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Out of that hour and 22 minutes, I'm pretty sure we delivered about an hour of good content or enjoyable content. And I probably spent about a good solid 15 minutes kind of doodling around and trying to figure out what to talk about or jumping around. But I think it worked out. So, guys in chat, rate me. If you did not like the video today, or if you feel that it was subpar, hit the dislike button and leave a comment. Or leave the like button anyway, and then leave a negative comment. But jokes aside, I appreciate critical feedback, and I appreciate Slim for notifying me about the chat delay. It is on my list right over here, and I will investigate that. And with that being said, anything you want to add, Mr. Disney Sheepherder, before I do the introduction?
Yeah, I want to say thank you to the chat. They've been wonderful and chatting, and thank you for having me on, DJ.
Oh, thank you for joining me.
Wearing my shirt. I guess I'm gonna have to promote you and get my new shirt.
I freaking I thought I packed it for Texas and I misplaced it, so I ended up packing the LCX shirt. That was the VTuber shirt I was wearing, and that's cool. I was planning on packing that shirt anyway, but at the time I packed it, I thought it was this shirt. Just had the same color on it. So I'm glad I found this shirt. I'm glad it fits. It's a nice loose fit. So beautiful for bike riding. I gotta say, when it's summertime, this is gonna be a good bike riding shirt here. I mean, the air's gonna flow in there. It's gonna be great, man. But yeah, whenever look, no rush. When you get a shipment of white shirts, or whenever at some point in the far future, or whenever or next time we meet up, if you have a white shirt available, I'd be delighted, because I love wearing these white undershirts. Like, I have one on standby just in case I
know where you live now. I'll send you one.
Cool. Yeah, but like, yeah, I was so insecure about wearing black that I have this shirt on standby just in case I needed like a security blanket. But jokes aside, I want to thank
you, Lady Stream.
Yep.
Lady Miss, Pop Culture. Thank you, Slim Nam.
Yeah. So Pop Culture Mechanic, are you doing any other streams this week, or are you gonna wait till Saturday? Either way, I know Pop Culture Mechanic is gonna stream on Saturday, so you can check out Pop there. You can check out Slim Nim on his channel. I think that's the abbreviation for Slim Nim. And tomorrow night, I will be hanging out with Pacific 414, and I will definitely be visiting Snacks at some point that evening too. And I hope that his link is programmed into the thingamajig. And it looks like it is. So with that being said, once again, Mr. Disney Sheepherder, thank you for hanging out with me tonight.
Hey,
I hope I
thank
entertained.
you. I'll try to track down most of y'all tomorrow.
Heck yeah,
Just
yeah.
say hi or something.
We're gonna have a lot of festivities tonight, no doubt. And I'm sure, like, I'll be up all night. Like, I mean, as late as other people are up, I'll be up at least as late as if they are. So, you know, with that being said, once again, for those who don't share the same political predispositions, we all know that we're all trying to look out for each other, right? I think we all agree that we all just want to kind of make things better in living conditions. So just remember, don't hate each other, right? And if somebody makes you mad, or
no lies, no division.
Exactly. And, you know, if you do feel a little hateful, I would recommend chilling out. But I genuinely believe that goes both ways. I'm not saying that, I'm not singling out any group. I think in general, like, I think sometimes like we feel a need to proselytize our positions, and sometimes it's okay to genuinely, like, here's my last point. It's okay to genuinely agree to disagree, like just to understand that we don't agree, and that's cool. And yeah, Hakuna Matata.
That's the way it used to be. It just seems now, if you don't agree with one person or one group, you're the bad person.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think that's part of the media conditioning in general, but it's also a consequence of like maybe a propensity for groupthink, you know.
Tommy, nothing wrong with hating. That's why we love you, Tommy.
My man is funny.
He is.
And good news, okay, good. Pop is going to do a stream potentially on Thursday. So maybe not. I'll share it out when I see it being posted.
Thank you, Lady Miss.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah. Lady Miss looking out right there. And yeah, we got some cool sheep videos. I remember the video that you uploaded with my name on it blew up in Ireland, right?
Yeah. Thank you for that.
That's
the biggest video I've had. I named you, and then I got the biggest video I've ever had. So
might have been a coincidence, but I'm glad it worked out. You know, I mean, like, I don't know how many of those.
5,000. Yeah, that's a lot.
I was going to my analytics today, and my views went down by 1,000 views, but it's because I have one 7-second video that had like 100,000 views on it. So it's like once you get the peak, you can only go down from there. You know, so I'm not worried about it. It's just kind of funny.
I think the next video after that, I got like 18.
Yep.
55,000 to 18 views.
The luck of the draw.
Yeah, you just got to hit that algorithm or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
A bunch of people from Ireland that like sheep.
And I'm sure you're gonna have more content at some point, and not in the over the next 6 months to the next year. You might have more content for them, so hopefully they stick around. I'm sure they'll be great. They'll be appreciative if they still subscribe to you. They'll see some sheep
come January,
content.
I will be in Iceland doing live sheep videos. No more drone footage, no more stock footage. The real McCoy, and see how that goes. And then maybe I'll start traveling even more and just tracking down sheep.
And
there
you have it.
Then we'll do some turtle shows.
Oh yeah. Hey, look, a little bit of turtle sheep versus turtles. Maybe, you know, I do a little graphics animation or something so that they can actually have a little duel. And you guys heard it here first. Yeah, Mr. Disney Sheepherder will be doing some sheep content with actual sheep, possibly interviewing real sheep herders on the ground.
Yes.
So you guys should subscribe to Disney Sheepherder, and thank you to Lady Mist for posting the link.
Yeah. And one more thing I'll say before you cut me out. Real gaming. He's like, how the hell does Ronnie not have 500 subs yet?
We'll get there.
I'm amazed.
We'll get there. Like I said, I got the consistency game on for the stream, so now I just got to upload some stuff, and I think that's gonna, like, you know, clinch the other, you know, like the other prong of the audience, so to speak. So we got this, you know.
All
right. With that being said, real quick, I do want to point out that Wade does have a stream this Saturday, so I do want to shout out his upcoming Saturday stream, and I do want to say hello to DJ Play Nice, who whenever people say, "Hey DJ," I get confused. I think they're calling me, and I realize they're talking to him. Or they'll be like, "DJ Play Nice," and I'm like, "But I didn't do anything." And then it'll be like, "Oh, they're talking to DJ Play Nice." But it's good to see you, DJ Play Nice. Thank you for tuning in. It's nice to have a fellow DJ. And with that being said, I'm gonna tap out too. So I'm gonna go and fire up the outro right now, ladies and gentlemen. Cover your eardrums just in case I make a mistake with the audio. I'm kidding. I will load the audio ahead of time. Just gotta grab the video there. Okay, well, we're already playing it. Oh, is it gonna skip on us? Okay, that's it. We're rewinding that. I want to get it right. This is so LiveStream changed the way to do things recently, so that's why I'm a little bit kerfuffled. There we go. I got this. Oh, come on.